need people like me so you can point your fucking fingers. I say that's the bad guy.
What's going on, my guy?
What up, what up, what up? Anyways, bro, what's up, Mike?
What's good, brother?
Boy,
Finally
Jake.
got you into the Highly Exclusive Society podcast, man.
Highly exclusive society.
Yes,
I've been
sir.
seeing ya boys.
Yeah,
Boys been
man.
hot.
I've been wanting to bring you in because I want to basically build like a network of people that have that mindset, you know? The name itself, highly exclusive, you know? I feel like as you get older and you start going into the journey of entrepreneurship, you start realizing that energy is very important.
Yeah.
So you don't want to just share everything with other people as far as like being around people that are negative as fuck or just people that are not on the same direction you're going, you know?
You gotta hang around with people that are like you, man. And I think that's important. I think that's kind of, it's funny you say that because then I got the whole and I've been seeing you do the highly exclusive society. I saw the sweatshirts and everything. Like those are
yeah.
dope, by the way.
Appreciate it.
But then also, like I thought of like kind of like the same concept. That's why I had a hustler society as well.
Just got to combine, fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, all it is just a society of people that kind of like what you said. They're cut from the same cloth.
Yeah.
You know, they're guys that are hustlers. They're guys that are hungry. You don't necessarily got to have a lot of money, but you got to have that mindset that I need to go out there and get that money, and not just for like selfish reasons, right? Like everybody got their own reasons, but I think as a man, you got to become a provider for somebody at one point. Even if it is
Absolutely.
just you by yourself right now, at one point you got to be able to provide for somebody, whether that's your mom, your dad, your kids, your wife, whatever it is, right? So just building a society about men or women that are just every single day out there pounding pavement, whatever they got to do to survive and,
Hustle.
and thrive and hustle. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So definitely. Now I've been watching you guys, and I've been trying to get in here, but as you know, to try to get
Either one of us into a room sometimes it can be hectic.
yeah, two guys that are busy at all times, because you're always hustling, you're always doing everything. But anyways, bro, like first of all, how did we even connect?
Man, that's a good question. I feel like we might have just ran into each other's page. I think I might have seen your page due to like other mutual people, and then I started seeing you guys, you know, have a lot of traction, and of course you guys are popping off, man. You got a whole bunch of sharks over there, man. And I personally on social media did something like mid last year where I decided to clean up my page from people that are just not doing the right shit or just doing the same old thing that's going nowhere,
Yeah,
and started following more people that are actually doing some shit. And I feel like that's probably the reason why we ended up, you know, connecting, was that I probably landed on your page and I'm like, man, this guy's doing something. And obviously, like I said, I like to follow a movement. I like to follow people that are actually influential and got something to offer more than just, you know, money and all that. I feel like the mindset is very, how do you say, like undervalued, I guess,
yeah,
because people don't really see that as the goal.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people just want the end result, but they don't understand that there's a certain person you got to become to get that end result.
That's exactly what I was gonna ask you. Was at what point did you realize that you had to like not only better yourself financially, but also like mentally, physically, and everything? Like, what was that point where you realized like that the money was good and everything was great as far as finance, but you had to become a whole different person to reach the next level?
Hmm. I had a great mentor, bro. I had a great mentor. So, I, I mean, from the beginning, if we take it back to childhood, like where I grew up, where I come from, I grew up in Mexico, little town. We're talking about like no pavement, no cell phone
What part?
still. Zacatecas. Yeah.
Nice.
But I grew up in the little
Rancho.
countryside, the rancho,
Yeah.
exactly. But then like moving into the United States when I was about 12 and just realizing that, our parents don't come from a lot. Then he had a lot, and you wanting certain things that your friends had, but you couldn't really have, just really bothered me,
Mm.
at all times. So even from like 14, 15 years old, you know, at that time, you don't really have any other options. Like you can't really get a job, right? So you got to start hustling. You got to start moving around to buy the things that you want,
Yeah.
um, because they're not given to you.
What were some of the small things you were doing at 14, 15, trying to get some money?
So I actually, crazy part about it is I had a hookup with a friend that actually got me a job at McDonald's when I was 15. I was supposed to be there at 16. They got me there a year earlier. But then, you know, I was doing dumb shit, you know, like just, you know,
Yeah.
selling little things on the side or whatnot. Um, but then like I was able to like, you know, give me $1,000 car. I was able to buy my clothes. I was able to do stuff like that while still going to school. Later on in the, you know, later on in life, I was like going to school, had 2 jobs. Like I literally had a night job, bro. Like I would go in at 7 p.m., get out at 7 a.m., go to school at 10 or no, at 9:30 a.m. because I was going to like a different type of school. So I would catch no sleep, straight from work, straight to school, get out by 12, sleep from 12 to like about 3, go to my other job, and then go to my other job. So having to do all those things just to buy those little nice things that you actually wanted, like kind of builds you into a different person. It builds you into a
Yeah.
different man. Like you're not afraid of work. Work is all you know.
Yeah.
You know, so like people talk about motivation, people talk about discipline. For me, this is just life. This is just what I've been through. This is just what I had to do. So when, you know, I was working 2 jobs, I was working at Benihana's and I was working at this call center. And I was walking to work. You know, I was literally walking to work.
Making it happen no matter what.
Yeah. So, you know, I was getting up at 7 a.m., walking about an hour to be at the first job at 8:30. And just, you know, if you had like a little bit of leftover time. And one day I'm walking back and I'm passing this Benihana's and I see a job that says now hiring. So I just walked in there. They gave me a little night job from like 5 p.m. to like 10 p.m. So I was doing that. My homeboy told me about door to door. And then I was like, well, what is it? And he's like, well, you can make like $1,500 a week. I'm like, done. I'm sold. Let's go, man. I'm
Let's
tired of
go.
working this 2 jobs. Um, so I hit that. And then that's when I met my mentor. And at that time, I was just trying to make $1,500 a week so I can, you know, I was like, you know, if I make $1,000 a week to $1,500 a week, I can move out of my parents. I was 19 at the time. I was like, I can move out of my parents, give me a shitty job, give me a shit, what they used to say, give me a shitty apartment with a shitty car and live a shitty life, but it's gonna be mine. And can't nobody tell me what to do. So I did so, but then I fell in love with the business because my first check was $1,200. Never touched that much money in my life. I thought $1,200 was like, you know, 100,000.
Yeah, I feel you. Shit.
I thought I was on top of the world. The next check, 1,700, 2,000, 3,000. I'm like, okay, I can get used to this shit, you know? But that mentor that I had, I remember he used to pull up in a Mercedes, you know, with a Rolex, $5,000 suit. The guy was always just dressed to the nine. He was the guy. And I used to look up to this guy. And I used to ask him like how much money he made. He was like, I don't know, 300 to 500,000. You know, at this time, I'm still staying in I'm still living in the hood. I'm staying in apartments that are in the hood.
Yeah.
I didn't know about sky rises. I didn't know, like, I've never been in one.
What I was telling somebody the other day was like, man, if you really want to be honest, to us, a fancy restaurant was like Chili's or something like that. To us, that was like, oh shit, you a badass fancy restaurant, you know? Nobody even knew about. I didn't even know about no like Nick and Sam's or Perry's Steakhouse, none of that stuff at first, you know?
I didn't even think I like steak.
Same. I was like, man, what is that? You know, calamari and all that fancy
Yeah,
shit. I was like,
nah.
nah, I don't even know if I like that shit.
Give me a burger and some chicken fingers.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted, you know?
Or some tacos, fuck it.
Yeah, you know. But bro, yeah, I remember I had a girlfriend at that time. And I remember we used to go like Olive Garden on birthdays. You know, like that was a celebration. Applebee's was a celebration. We're gonna save up for like 3 months. You feel me? So I never knew this other world even existed. But then hanging out with my mentor, he puts me in his Mercedes. I've never been in a Mercedes. I never even dreamed about a Mercedes. I wanted a truck. I wanted an F-150. I was like,
Hell
if I get an
yeah.
F-150, I'm balling.
Yeah.
I'm that guy. He put me in a Mercedes, and I'm like, yo, this is different. He took me to apartment in downtown. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, y'all guys are living like this? You know, he took me to restaurants. I went to Ireland, I went to Scotland, I went to Dominican Republic. And then he's like showing me, he's like, look, bro, this is how you gotta move, this is what you gotta do, this is how you gotta think, this is how you gotta set goals. You're thinking too small, you know? And then I met his mentor, and his mentor showed me a Lambo. His mentor showed me what it was like to go to fucking Brooklyn. He took me to Brooklyn, party it up, drop like $3,000, $4,000.
Like it's nothing.
Yeah, like it's nothing, you know? Showed me a good time, and I'm like, this is what I want. I want this type of life. So, you know, just after that, I'm like, I can't go back to the regular shit.
Yeah.
I gotta move out this apartment, and I gotta get me a better one. $700 a month ain't cutting it. Like, I need to be dropping like 2 to 3,000, 4,000.
I feel like it's because your lifestyle started getting a little bit more expensive, right? So you started having the need to make a little bit more money now.
You start liking better shit, yeah.
Yeah. So the lifestyle starts getting more expensive.
People treat you different in
Oh,
those
yeah.
places, you know?
Yeah. I had that moment too, like you said, when I first saw my big check in door to door.
Yeah,
I think the first big check that really caught my attention was like a $10,000 check,
that's a big check.
right? It wasn't my first check. My first check, man, truth be told, the very first time that I closed my own deal, I messed up, bro. I didn't know about adders and stuff like that, certain things
Yeah.
in the business. And man, I ended up basically losing $3,000. So my total commission was 4,000. I ended up losing 3, and I only
So
had $1,000 check, and I was like, shit, man.
Yeah,
But when I first made the 10,000, I'm telling you, I woke up in the morning because direct pay would hit like at 12 at night, right?
yeah,
So I woke up in the morning, I checked my account, I'm like, oh shit, I got a $10,000 check.
yeah,
Man, bro, when I'm telling you, I was looking at that damn phone like 3 to 4 times,
Yeah.
making sure they didn't make a mistake. I'm like, hey, man, let me make sure that it ain't gone,
yeah,
Hopefully the bank didn't make a mistake or the company made a mistake.
yeah,
And that's when I first realized, like, damn, it's possible.
yeah.
Like, you can make this kind of money. Because, like you said, for me, shit, man, $1,000 was like, you made 100,000. Like, it was
Yeah.
a lot of money. Even $100 was like shit. Because, coming from nothing, you learn how to stretch like $5 for a whole fucking week.
Yeah.
If you have to. And then you come into this basically like new world
Mhm.
where you start realizing like, shit, bro, $100 ain't shit. $1,000 ain't shit. And then it starts becoming to where it's like $10,000 doesn't really cut it anymore. And it's not in a
Normal shit.
bad way,
Yeah.
or that it's not appreciated. Of course, it's appreciated, but it's just like, damn, like in order to get certain levels, you have to keep going and going and going and going and going,
And I think that's where people fuck up. Because I was just gonna ask you, you come from a place where you think $100 is a lot. You make 10,000. How do you not say, you know what, I can stretch this 10,000 over the next 5 months and chill? What keeps you going?
That's what people fuck up. Yeah. For me, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. This is something that I said to one of my friends the other day is I've always tried to not play it safe. Because I feel like when you play it safe, you live in fear.
Yeah.
And when you live in fear, you already lost half of the battle. Like
You're
you've
not gonna
already
try shit.
Yeah, because
You're
you're like,
afraid of
man,
shit.
yeah. And fear comes with comfortability. So that's why, like we were talking earlier, a dude makes fucking 17 G's in 1 month, and they're like, oh man, I'm set for the year.
Yeah.
And then that 17 grand goes to shit because they didn't go through. And now what? You're
Yeah.
back at zero. So the thing for me is I look at the money come in, but I'm not afraid to reinvest it. I'm not afraid to reinvest it in something that's gonna make me more, that's gonna double it, versus it sitting in the bank and not doing shit. Because
Yeah.
all it's doing in the bank is just sitting there,
Yeah.
sitting there, sitting there, sitting there. Versus I'm like, okay, I made 10 grand. How can I possibly double this money? Or how can I make this money work for me instead of me work for the money?
Yeah.
So I'll start finding other things that are gonna be a good use of that 10 grand versus me just keeping it in my bank account and not doing shit with it.
Gotcha.
Because like I said, at the end of the day, man, this is with floor right here, right?
Yeah.
If you fall right now, as far as you go, the
Yeah.
floor, that's it. So for me, it's like I've been at rock bottom. I've been at not having shit, having to stretch a fucking dollar.
Yeah.
So I'm not afraid to lose.
Yeah.
because I know that I'm gonna get back the fuck up and I'm gonna be able to redo it again. And since I made a mistake, that mistake that I made that made me fumble the whole shit, I'm gonna make sure it doesn't happen again.
Mm.
That's why I say the good things take time.
Yeah.
The things that are gonna last a long time, they take time to build. Cause the more time you have, you're able to fix your fuck ups.
Right.
That way you don't have short-term success. Because I feel like I'm pretty sure you've seen it too. Um, because our business is a lot of people make money really quick, right?
That's
And
a
I'm
big
pretty
problem.
sure, yeah, I'm pretty sure you've seen it to where it can be a destructive thing too,
Oh,
where
yeah.
people come in and they make, let's say they make $1 million. You know, they make their first $1 million their first year, and the next year, business ain't the same, or certain things happen and it's not the same as it was the first year. And now, what happened?
They don't know what to do. They're
Exactly.
scrambling.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people, man. Like a lot of people, my first year in this business, I've seen a lot of people make, 2.5, whatever. And then the following year, business wasn't the same. And now they're like back at square one. And it's like, dude, what happened? Like you made a shit ton of money and now you're back to like, cars getting repoed and them losing their shit and having to go start all over from square one. Like, I'm like, damn, dude, like you made a shit ton of money and just,
I went through that shit. Like I literally had to go through that shit in order for me to like learn. You know what I'm saying? Like the difference with me and the people that just stay there is that not only do I know where rock bottom is, but I know how to handle it and I know how to get out of it.
exactly.
You know, so I had to hit rock bottom because I thought I was on top of the world. I stopped working. I stopped doing the things that made me successful. So at one point, I sat down in my $2,000 apartment, which was beautiful, with no lights.
Shit.
I'm sitting down in this badass fucking apartment, and I ain't got no electricity. And I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? So the next, like, bro, like it was like 6 p.m. when they cut my lights off, and I just sat there for an hour. And I had to knock doors in like 3 months because I thought I had made it. I didn't need to knock doors. I was this manager. I was this big guy. And I was like, man, I'm being stupid. It was 6 p.m. I sat there for an hour. At 7 p.m., I went and got in my car. I had $20 in the tank, and I fucking just went to the nearest neighborhood and I started banging on doors, bro, and got myself out of it. You know what I'm saying? But then after that, I realized that there's no slowing down.
Yeah.
There's no stopping. There's no chilling. There's no, because I do believe that we live in a very competitive world,
You have to be competitive.
in a very competitive industry.
Yeah.
The moment that you start slowing down, your enemy is it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your competition ain't sleeping. That motherfucker's working. And I
All
like
day
to
and
think
night.
about that all the time. Right? So
Yeah.
if those motherfuckers are working, you best believe that I'm gonna be out there working. It's like your boy, I don't know if you hear stories about Kobe. Like to me, he's my idol. And I really look up to that guy just because of his work ethic, his discipline, and everything that he does. But I forgot what basketball player was talking about it, and he said that it was game day. They were gonna play against Kobe, and he gets to the basketball court, tries to get there early to get some practice shots. He sees Kobe. Not only is he already at the court, but the dude is like in full sweat. Right. The next day he gets up a little bit earlier. He's still there. Right. And it's like when they asked him, like, why were you there so early? And he was like, I just knew you were gonna be there. And I wanted to let you know that whatever you're willing to do, I'm willing to do it better.
Ooh,
And I'm
shit.
like, that type of mentality is what really gets you there.
Yeah.
And you hear those stories not just from him, but from all the greats like Cristiano Ronaldo and all those other guys. They're willing to show everybody that they're willing to work harder than them at any time, no matter how big you are.
Yeah.
Those are the top guys. They're outworking you every single day. So after that, I was just like, I'm never slowing down. I'm never stopping. There's somebody out there to get me,
Yeah.
So
It's like a shark. Don't quote me on this. I don't know if it's 100% true, but I've heard this before where they say a shark can't swim backwards because he dies.
really?
That's what I heard. I don't know if it's 100% true. Don't come for me, Discovery Channel. But that's what I heard, man. And honestly, like for me, it's the way I see it. It's like basically like what you're explaining is like once you like start doing what you're doing, you can't slow down. Because
Yeah.
once you start getting comfortable and you slow the fuck down, you're gonna have that fall.
Yes.
And you're gonna learn the hard way that you should have never fucking slowed down. And man, bro, a lot of people don't make it out of that hole. You know, once they fall down, because they're up here, and you got to think about it like the way that I see it is like now they got the cars, the fancy shit, and then out of nowhere, boom, they hit rock bottom.
Gravity is a motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah. What goes up must come down. Shit.
You can't cheat the laws of physics, man.
Yeah.
So gravity's always gonna be there, and I feel like that's business. I feel
Yep.
like that's the hustle. You know, if you ain't got nothing propelling you up or any type of force that's gonna continue to get you going up, like there's no stopping. There's no like, all right, I'm just gonna chill here. You know, you're gonna come down.
Yeah.
It's definitely. So, what type of childhood did you have, bro? Like, where do you come from? Where are you from, first of all?
I'm from Guanajuato, Mexico. So I was born in Guanajuato. Um,
How old were you when you got here?
7.
Okay,
7. I've been here ever since. I've been here in Dallas. I grew up in Oak Cliff.
okay.
So that's where I was basically raised my whole life.
How's
Um,
Oak Cliff, bro?
huh?
How's Oak Cliff? I mean,
It's,
I know Oak Cliff, you know,
it's the
like
suburbs, man. It's a beautiful island and it has a nice beach and
security everywhere.
yeah, security everywhere, making sure you guys are safe. No cars are
Yeah,
being stolen.
neighborhood watch.
Neighborhood watch everywhere.
Yeah.
Nah, it was a tough neighborhood, man, but honestly, the way that I see things now is everybody had a tough childhood, you know?
Let me ask
Mostly
you a
everybody.
question. People say it's a tough neighborhood. Whenever you were a kid, did you feel like it was tough, or did you feel like it was fun? Did you feel like it was
Felt like it was
normal?
fun and normal.
Fun and normal.
To us, it was fun and normal because
Exactly.
it was like we were accustomed to it.
Yeah.
Versus somebody like when I was cutting hair, bro, like that I was a barber. I had this guy book with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the dude's name, but it was like a Jerry Smith or something like that, right? And the dude calls me. He's like, "Hey, man, I seen your locations. Is it in Oak Cliff?" I was like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "Dude, I'm not going there. Stay safe, please. Let me know if you need any help." I was like, "What the fuck just happened, bro? What the fuck just happened?" Like, this dude saw the address. I was in Oak Cliff and was like, "No, fuck no." And this isn't like too far out. You're looking like maybe like 7 years ago. So like
Which Oak Cliff
2019.
used to be worse.
Yeah, but
And now it's like, you see,
it's
I feel like
better.
it's a little bit better.
Yeah, I think it's honestly it's smooth now.
Yeah.
I don't feel like there's not a lot going on over there anymore. Not like certain other areas now, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I grew up there. I was in Mexico with my grandma from basically when I was born till I was 7.
Gotcha.
Then my parents decided to go back, basically bring me over here, and shit, man, just life was definitely different, bro.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like a lot of people they want to say like, oh yeah, growing up in the hood was tough. I don't see it as being tough. I just see it as normal. You got to kick it with your friends. You didn't have a dime in your pocket. You didn't really give a fuck if you had a
Those are the
dime in your
moments you
pocket.
cherish, right?
Yeah, you were just chilling with your friends, figuring out what to do.
Yeah,
You didn't need money. You were just out there having fun. And yeah,
yeah.
you might have gotten yourself in dangerous situations, but I think you're just so used to it that it don't even face you. It don't even bother you, you know?
Mhm.
Like you used to see like people getting jumped,
Yeah,
fights
all the
breaking
time,
off.
yeah.
You're actually excited for this stuff. You're like, hell yeah, let me go see what's going on over here. Unless
Yeah.
you were the victim, but
Oh yeah, he
but
is
even
not
at
of them.
that, like the next day you wasn't walking around with fear. Like, oh, I don't want to go outside. Like you got jumped, it happens, move forward,
Yep, it is what it
right?
is.
And
Yeah, I feel like I agree with you on that. I feel like for us it was normal. And I feel like a lot of people victimize themselves, you know?
yeah,
They start playing the victim because they're like, man, I came from a fucked up neighborhood, so I can't be nobody. I'm like, dude,
get
it's
out of
it's
here,
not that
man.
big of a deal. Fuck it, it is what it is. You came from a fucked up neighborhood. A good amount of us that are entrepreneurs did. It is what it is. Like, do your thing. One thing that I did catch on to the other day, though, I forgot who said this, but I think it was Floyd Mayweather or somebody said that, or Javante Davis. They were like, there's a lot of people that can't go back to the hood.
Yeah,
They're not allowed back in there, you know?
yeah,
And I feel like it comes back with how you carry yourself and the respect because, there's certain people that I don't know where you grew up at, but like certain people in my neighborhood that are now like celebrities or people that are huge that have made it, like certain rappers, stuff like that. And they always do something for the community.
Yeah.
They always do something to make sure that they still remember where they came from, you know?
Right.
So I feel like that's the next big step for me is being able to give back to the community. Not
Right.
only to like, you know, here in Dallas and Oak Cliff, but also like people down in Mexico that are struggling. You know,
Yeah.
I seen this dude, I don't know if you follow him, but there's this guy in Mexico that basically what he does is he'll basically rebuild people's houses. Like let's say the house is torn up and
I've seen a few videos like that. That shit is badass, bro.
yeah,
Like,
man, I feel like that's good, bro. Like you're able to give back and kind of like, you know, rebuild some of the old memories as a kid because you walk through certain places and the buildings are already falling apart and you're like,
yeah.
shit, man, I can't believe I grew up there and stuff. I'll tell you one of the toughest things for me that I'm appreciative of. There's been a lot of shit that I've been through. I'm not gonna break down little shit, right? But one of the things that was the most memorable for me that made me realize like I wanted to change shit was when I was 12 years old. You know, I was always getting into some shit. Um, so I go home after school and I'm knocking at the door. Nobody opens. I'm like, man, what the fuck going on? You know?
Yeah.
I look at the driveway. There's no cars. So I'm like, man, what's the deal? So I knock again. I'm knocking a couple of times. I don't see nobody opening the door. And typically my sister, my mom, somebody will be there, right? And then I finally like say, you know what? Maybe they left the door open. And I open it. Ain't nothing in there. The house is empty.
The fuck?
Yeah,
What happened?
they left.
Who?
My parents, well, my mom and you know my stepdad, and they took my brother and my sister and them. They did like they dipped. They just completely left.
Who were you left with?
Huh?
You were just left by yourself
That's it. Just
at
me by
12?
myself. Yeah.
So what you do?
Shit, bro. I was like, man, I need to figure something out. But truth be told, shit, at that age you don't know what the fuck to do. So
Fuck no.
what I did, right there in Oak Cliff on Hampton and Clarendon,
Yeah.
there's this little building that had like a little car on top, a mechanic shop, and then across from it was a warehouse. And we lived like literally up the street from it. So what I would do at night was I climbed the little warehouse and stay up there, bro. Just grab like a little cobija, cover myself, and then downstairs there was it's not Country Burger, it's another one.
Uh-huh.
There's like a burger place, and right next to it is a laundromat place. So what I would do is I would wake up early, like at 6 in the morning, and I would go to the laundromat place and clean up the place so the lady could let me wash my shit. And then she would bring me like breakfast or like if somebody left clothes, she'll give it to me. So that
Okay.
way I could have like things rolling, right? So that's some shit that changed me, bro. That was the first thing that was like,
Bro, I
I
have
need
so
to
many
think.
questions for this shit. What the fuck? Um, okay, so have you talked to them?
Who?
Your parents?
Oh yeah, absolutely, bro. This is
When?
one thing that before we go into that next question,
Yeah.
I feel like our parents were raised a certain way
Mhm.
and their upbringing didn't let them show us exactly what we picture nowadays as a good parent or love and stuff like that. Because our parents grew up in Mexico,
Yeah.
and this is just to narrow it down. My uncle,
Mhm.
they all had a ranch, right? And my uncle was feeding the cows. The cow bit all three of these fingers off
Ooh.
when he was like a kid,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
like
yeah.
12 years old,
Yeah.
13, somewhere around there. Well, my grandpa came out, and instead of being like, "Oh, mijo, you're okay," blah blah blah, he said, "Ah, por pendejo, ahorita te voy a dar un madrazo a la verga." And
Boy ain't got no fingers and shit.
yeah, man, he ain't got no goddamn fingers, and he still got whooped, man. He got an ass whooping for supposedly being a dumbass, for being an idiot and getting his fingers bit. So how do you expect somebody like that grew up in shit like that, seeing even more messed up shit,
Yeah.
show love right off the top, you know?
Yeah.
When it's what do you say? It's not rare. What is it? Unfamiliar to them? How do you put a better word?
Uh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess like it's
It's
just
not something
unfamiliar
they're
to them.
used to.
Yeah.
Not something they're used to. That's crazy.
So I feel like their mistakes, I mean,
It's not.
it's not something to hold a grudge on forever, bro. At
No,
the end
I
of the
feel you.
day, something I believe firmly is if you take care of your parents, life is gonna treat you well.
Oh, I believe that 100%.
Yeah, no matter what mistakes they made, hey, bro, nobody's perfect.
Absolutely.
So I don't hold no grudges on it. It is what it is.
That's
I
that's tough.
yeah.
At 12 years old, not knowing what the fuck's going on. And then this is like what year is this?
Shit, bro. I have no clue. Probably like 2010,
So definitely,
2011.
you ain't really had no cell phone, like
Oh, hell
no,
no. That's for
like.
sure. No cell phone, bro. At that time, we had the walkie-talkie Boost
Oh,
mobile
oh yeah,
phones.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
right before the Razors came out, bro. So
yeah.
not even the walkie-talkies. You had the little, you remember the little ones that were like this big and it was just one phone? The Motorola's, Nokia, something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, 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 yeah. I got you. And we definitely couldn't even afford
House
those.
phones, basically.
Yeah, so like you got no way, like, hey, where
Contact
you
them,
guys
nothing.
at? Where did they go?
They went to Louisiana.
Why?
They moved to Louisiana because I guess my uncle had gave my stepdad like a better job opportunity.
Okay.
So
um, I don't know if you ever asked this, and you probably have. Why didn't they take you? Why didn't they tell you? What have you asked this? Like, nah,
nah,
you just
bro.
let it go.
So that it is what it is. I mean, I
Yeah,
can't change it no more.
yeah,
And it shaped me to understand things a lot better. And I said what I said right about not holding a grudge against their mistakes,
yeah.
but it also taught me on what I don't want to do with my kids as a father.
Facts.
It taught me that those tough times when I needed a father, when I needed somebody to guide me the right direction, I didn't have it. So now, not just being able to provide and build a foundation for my kids, I want to be able to guide them the right direction. I want
Oh,
to be able to
absolutely.
lead them good habits, teach them good morals, teach them how to be respectful, humble, and earn their living as well. Because
Yeah.
we're in a good position in life, right? Thank
Oh
God.
yeah.
And sometimes we spoil our kids.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're like, hey, you can get this stuff. But I feel like we also have to teach them how to understand that they have to earn the things in life
Absolutely.
because we're able to provide a good life for them right now. But you never know, man. What if something goes south later on in the future? Hopefully not, right? But if it does, are they able to rebuild exactly what you built for them? You know,
That's a tough question. That is a tough question
that's
because one thing that I've noticed, I think I watched it on your other podcast, on what you said, but also one thing that I noticed is some of these kids that are privileged,
mhm.
they don't take pressure the same way as the ones that don't.
Yeah,
Like for me, anything bad could happen in my life, and I always stay calm. I always know, like, I understand that freaking out, getting into my feelings, getting into my emotions is going to accomplish nothing. And what I really need to do is to have a level, clear head to figure out what my next move is going to be. And I notice that some of these people that are privileged or that never really been through a struggle, never really got hit in the face,
yeah.
when shit goes down, they have no idea what to do. They panic, they throw in the towel,
Get
they make
emotional
the
as
wrong
fuck.
moves.
Yeah,
Like, yeah, they start making moves based on emotion instead of logic, which is what they really need to do to get out of it.
yeah.
So in business, like this business is a roller coaster. The business that me and you are in is a roller coaster.
Absolutely.
So sometimes you're up, sometimes you're down. You never really know what's going to happen. When you're up, you got to make sure that you stay calm and don't really let your ego get too high or for you to get too excited. Whenever you're down, don't start freaking out because you got to start thinking about your next move on how you're going to get back up there. You feel me?
Yeah,
So
hell
like you
yeah.
always got to be kind of like in the middle. And I truly believe growing up where we grew up and all the shit that happened to us like from little that is traumatic, you know what I'm saying? Like that is crazy, you feel me? But you went through that at 12 years old. There's very little things that's going to throw you off your game,
Oh yeah.
because if you can go through that go through that at 12 years old, like cleaning up a fucking laundry so that they can let you wash your clothes or so that they can bring you a little bit of breakfast. And I don't even know, I haven't even asked if you were still going to school on your own or
I
whatever.
had to.
That's crazy.
Honestly, I liked it though,
That was
because
probably the 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 the,
that
the,
was
the
the
normal
fucking
time.
meals. That was the meals of the day. You got to think about it. We got lunch, so it's
That
like
is,
shit. Let's go get some lunch. I mean, I
yeah.
would go to school because I'm like, man, I'm gonna get a free meal. Shit, you know?
And you get to talk to people because I know it's got to get lonely. You by how long were you by yourself, bro?
Like a good month.
A good month? Who
Yeah,
came and got you?
nobody. So that's what I was telling my boy the other day. I feel like I'm God's favorite
Mhm.
because I was walking to that building, right? And I'm kicking rocks, bro. Just walking. It's already like 10 p.m. I want to go kick it with one of my boys. So I'm walking back over there, and it's cold as shit. So I'm just kind of like, trying to stay warm. Then out of nowhere, I kick some shit that's not a rock, and I noticed it kind of like, do that. And out of nowhere, I see like something green sticking out, basically. And I was like, oh shit. So I picked it up, and it was a wallet.
Wow.
So there goes like 2 to 3 grand. I think it was like 3 grand maybe.
Oh wow.
Cash, nothing but 20s. So
Sick.
then like a little light bulb clicked in my head,
All right.
where I was like, huh, I'm not gonna fucking get an apartment.
Yeah.
I'm a little ass kid, right?
Right.
And I was like, what can I do with this money? So the next day, I went to one of my close friend's house, and his brother had just got out.
Mm.
He just got out the feds.
Okay.
And he's like, you want to double that money? I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
what we got to do? And you know what came after
Okay.
that, bro? So basically, man, after that, shit, bro, we were talking about the cell phones.
Yeah.
Man, when I tell you like a week later, we all went, bought like 6, 7 brand new phones. That's when the little touchscreen ones had just came out. The
Okay.
very first like touchscreen ones that came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
So now we're like in middle school with the brand new phones and everything, and
That's
shit,
just
eating out every
wild.
day, and things changed after that.
But at
Uh,
one point, you found a place to stay at
Yeah, at that point, I'm
with
telling
your
you,
boys.
yeah, because we were like, hey, well, let's invest like this money, let's flip it. So we started doing what we did, and I would stay there and basically just doing our thing right there like that.
And at any point that you came back to your parents' life, or they came back to you,
I
or
had to. Well, they
yeah,
had to,
well,
because I had trouble with the law.
yeah, and they're like,
So
where's your
the
dad
law
at?
was like, either y'all come handle this, or we throw what is it, like CPS, Child Protective Services and stuff like that. So of course they had to get involved.
So they came back over here.
Yeah. Well, not my stepdad, my mom did, but she would just come out here for the courts and shit like that. So
Mm.
I got like my little sentence or whatever. And then well, yeah, after that, I think we had a moment where things flipped,
Okay.
because I was like already like 17. No, yeah, I think like 16, 17. Long story short, I had got into some trouble during that time, right? More trouble. And it came to the point where the probation officer,
Mm-hmm.
he was like, hey, either you turn yourself in, or we do this the hard way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, shit, you know what? I got to think about it, because I'm already about to be 18. I'm about to be an adult. So it was something that I had in the back of my head. And I'm like, man, honestly, like, I don't want to fucking live this life. I don't want to be always on the run or doing dumb shit that doesn't get me nowhere in life. Like, I think it's time that I do what the fuck is right. So I talked to my mom, and she was like, hey, well, I'm going to have to turn you in. And I don't know what it hit, because obviously we have different perspectives, right? Different
Yeah.
opinions on things. But I think that really scarred my mom, because
Mm.
to her, it felt like she had to betray me and turn me in.
Oh. Okay.
And when that happened, she broke down to me. She was like, I love you. I'm sorry for everything that I've done and that I haven't been here for you. But just know that I'm not trying to turn you into, like, you know, like,
Like
how
it's
do I
something
say
she
it?
had to do.
Yeah,
But it's
it's
still
like,
gonna hurt you as a mother, right?
yeah. So she's like, I'm not trying to betray you. I have to do this, you know? And I'm
Yeah.
like, yeah, well, I'm all for it. Like, let's do it. Let's get it over with. And that point was when me and my mom built a good relationship. Like, that's
Wow.
when tables turned.
At 17.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah,
So then, did you do some time?
yeah.
How much?
Basically till I turned 18. Once I turned 18, they had to let me go,
Okay.
because I didn't have
What's your
any
next
more
move?
record. Huh?
What's your next move when you turn 18? You just got out. What are you doing?
Shit, man. When I got out, my main focus was trying to get my diploma, actually.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I actually got it right away. I graduated high school, got my diploma. I was good, because I didn't want no GED.
Gotcha.
So I got my diploma, and at the time where I was at, they
Mhm.
paid you like 50 cents for work, right? So they gave me like I think like a $400 check.
Yeah.
Well, since I was a fucking drawer at the time, I'm like, shit, man, I might as well just chase like doing tattoos or some shit.
Okay.
And I bought a little tattoo machine, and
And you started
try
doing
to,
tattoos and
I
shit?
tried to. I
You
realized the
fuck
fucking
somebody up
truth.
or
Yeah,
what?
I realized the truth was like, oh shit, it's not the same as on paper.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
on
no.
paper you could draw, do whatever, and it's smooth, right? But on skin, that shit is way different. It's way different.
Wow.
But I didn't really try it too much on people. I did it on myself. I did a leg piece on myself.
Okay.
Um, and when I did that leg piece, I was like, damn, it's not as hard. But then I started realizing like, nah, it's not the same as
It's drawn on paper.
yeah.
I gotcha. And
But
then you got into music.
yeah, I was always into music. Honestly, like
Okay.
as a kid, we were doing like what is it, like the rap battles and like
Oh
the
yeah, the freestyle
yeah
battles and shit.
freestyle
Yeah.
shit like that. Especially where I was at, we'd always be like rap battling and shit like that or freestyling. And then one of my friends was like, "Dude, you got to take this shit serious. Like, if you really want to like do something with it, take it serious. Start writing it instead of
Yeah.
just freestyling it."
Yeah, yeah. Instead of just having
That
fun.
shit was way harder than what I thought at first. Cause
Yeah.
freestyle, I could go bar for bar, like we're good. But writing it down, it was like, fuck, I gotta, you start
Overthinking
thinking
it and
about
shit.
it. Yeah, you
Yeah.
start overthinking it. But anyways, I ended up blowing up on a song on SoundCloud. Then a record label noticed me. I got signed with them, and shit, I didn't know nothing about contracts. I didn't know nothing about percentages, pay, none of that bullshit.
Yeah.
So I got screwed over. And when I started getting really good at it, people started really noticing me. Um, I was about to get signed with a big, record label, Universal Music Latin, but I couldn't because of my contract over here.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
It's
I had to,
crazy.
yeah, and I had
Grab
to
these
think
kids
about
and
things.
just put them on a fucking slave contract type shit.
Crazy. Read your
Yeah.
fucking contracts, guys. Read your fucking contracts. Um, and at that time, I had my daughter, so I'm 19, signed to
Okay.
a record label that's not paying me shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Still working construction at the time, and trying to figure out how I'm gonna be able to pay for Pampers and
Yeah.
take care of my family and do all this other shit. And of course, one thing that I was saying is that when it comes to relationships, at least 75% of the fights are always financial shit.
100%.
Yeah. So trust me, I had a lot of fucking arguments with the mother of my kids because of the studio and, sometimes missing work, not being able to provide, shit like that.
Even if it's not a financial fight, if you don't have money,
Yeah.
you're just in a bad mood.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever people talk to you about, like money doesn't buy you happiness, like, yeah, you're probably right. It isn't gonna buy it, but it's gonna make everything so much easier to
10
the point
times
where you're
easier.
just not in a bad mood. You
Yep.
know, it's hard to be in a bad mood when you got everything.
Yep.
Now, I'm not saying that it's impossible because some people's minds is just fucked up.
Yeah.
No matter what they got, they're always just in a bad mood, or they're just always depressed, or they're always just overthinking dumb shit, or they're not appreciative of
So
what
let
they
me
got.
let
They
me
got
ask
no
you this.
gratitude.
Going back to what we had the conversation at the gym the other day, what do you think about it? What do you think about when like people are in a relationship and one person is an entrepreneur, they are happy, they are doing their thing, but the other person isn't? What would be your advice to those people that are like in that situation and maybe it's starting to become a problem? Because obviously, like you said, and we both know that when you're in a 9 to 5, sometimes it could be tough
Yeah.
on them mentally because they're tired. They don't have the same energy versus me and you, bro. Like I'm pretty sure 95% of the time you're not like, oh fuck my job, blah, blah, blah.
No,
My
I
boss
love
is
what I
bitching
do.
at me. Yeah, me too. I love what I do. I'm passionate about it.
Yeah.
So we're 9 times out of 10 we're in a good energy space.
Well, 100%.
But what about those that aren't? What would be your advice to somebody right now that's like trying to stay with that partner
Yeah.
because they've been with them for a while and trying to help them out? And what is your advice to that person that's in that situation that their partner is happy, but they're still not?
It depends who you are, and it depends how you grew up, and what do you think a relationship should be? Because I feel like right now there's so much talk about we should go 50-50.
Oh,
There's so much talk about you need to bring in something to the table. You see, for me, I don't want that. But I also am in a position where my wife doesn't have to work. So I don't need her to be an entrepreneur. I don't need her to try to get us out of anything. I don't need her money. And this is, I love her. I need her to be a good housewife. I need her to be my peace.
bring back morals. Bring
Yeah,
back the old school days. Yeah,
I
that's great.
need her to be my peace. I need her to raise my children. I need to know that my kids are safe. So when I'm at work, I'm not thinking about what's going on. I'm not thinking about I need to answer the phone because it's the daycare. I'm not thinking about like what's really going on because she's taking care of all that stuff. So I can focus on what truly matters to make sure that I'm providing for them. You feel me? So it really just depends on where you're at. For me, I don't need her to be an entrepreneur. I'm the entrepreneur, but this is what I do need from her. I need her not to steal my peace when I'm at work, because that's the other problem. Some people do got that, and they're able to keep them home and taking care of the kids and all that stuff. But then the problem is that she's always mad that he's not around.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I had to let, like me and my wife had to come into agreements.
Had a
She
what?
like had to agree on. She knows not to bother me while I'm at work with anything negative. Positive stuff, call me all day. If you're gonna call me because you're mad at me
They
because
don't
of,
know how bad that shit could throw you off when
it'll
they
throw your whole entire day.
yeah, like something so negative and you're like shit, because we're always like in like
Yeah,
go mode, and then you get some shit personal that comes into your mind and you're like fuck, now I can't focus 100% on this because I'm in the back of my head I'm like fuck, this just happened, what am I gonna
exactly.
do? And it could be the smallest bullshit, like something that could have easily been fixed without having to know, like tell you, right?
Exactly.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
feel that.
if she can handle it, she'll take care of it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's all it is. Um, if you're mad at me for whatever reason, wait till I get home. We'll talk it out.
Yeah.
We'll talk it out then, because she also understands that no matter what it is, if she's mad at me for whatever reason, we still got bills to pay
Yeah.
and we still have a lifestyle to maintain and we still got kids to raise. Whatever happens between me and her should not affect the kids at all. So she understands whatever negative, whatever stuff that could come my way, that could slow me down, that could mess me up mentally when I'm over here trying to manage 200, 300 people. Keep that shit till later. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I think it has to be a balance, and that balance doesn't need to be 50-50. It could be 100-100. She's 100 on the house, I'm 100 on the bills. You feel me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give her a house, she makes it a home. My
That's a
kids are
gem right
good.
there.
Huh?
That's a gem right there.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's how it should work. So she's not worried about money, but I'm not worried about the kids. So we kind of relieve each other from that. But now, if you're an entrepreneur and now you just got this new girlfriend and she has to work because you're not yet at a stage where you're saying, "Hey, stop working, babe. I'm gonna take care of you."
Yeah. Because they can't be too early. A lot of people do that. They fuck up because they got the money to do it, and
Yeah,
they start giving the wrong person the right help.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yes, 100%. So it's finding the person that is right for you and how you want to live your life. If you want to go 50-50, then that's cool. Turn her into an entrepreneur or find yourself another one,
Yeah.
because it has to be the right person that's right for you.
I'm not gonna lie. I agree with you 100% on the whole, like making sure your wife is more of a housewife than her having to stress about making money or doing anything. Because at that point, she might start getting the role confused a bit.
Oh yeah.
She might start thinking like, well, am I the provider now or like what's going on,
Which one of us is it?
Yeah. So that's a really good one, man. I feel like that's something to really stand on, and a lot of people need to hear that shit too.
Yeah.
Is that men need to be men instead of like thinking like the other partner has to go 50-50 and we have to do this. Hey, it's a blessing if your woman can double your money.
Yeah.
It's a blessing. But does she have to do it? Nah, you're right. Shouldn't have to do it.
It's a blessing as long as it doesn't come in the way of your kids
Yeah.
getting raised the right way.
Yeah.
Because if you and the wife is always out and you guys have kids, somebody else is raising your children. And that somebody else might not be the adequate person, might not have the morals, which you just talked about. Like, I want to install good morals into my kids, ethics, showing them how to be a man. That other person doesn't have the best interest in your kid. You're
That's
the only
true.
person that does. And you have a certain way that you want to raise them, and that other person might be pulling them in a completely different direction. So it depends on what stage you are in life. But for me, to me, that's the perfect dynamic. It might be different for somebody else, but to me, that's the perfect dynamic. You know? And then the cool thing is, like, with my job, like my business, whatever you want to call it, I'm still able to be a dad. And I feel like I'm living the best of both worlds right now, because I'm able to provide financially, but I'm not slaving away every single day where, like, I have to be at work from this time to that time. I can choose when I go to work. If I wanted to today, or I mean tomorrow's Monday, I can decide, you know what, I'm dropping everything and I'm picking up my kid from school and we're gonna go get some ice cream and I'm gonna talk to him about life and what he needs to do. You know, so it's all those things that I work my ass off to get here, so that when I do have my kids, I'm not worrying about shit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just making the right moves, making the smart moves, not just making moves all the time.
Absolutely.
You know, some people get activity confused with productivity. You know, you can be active all day and do nothing,
Yep.
right? You
Yep.
can run around in fucking circles and get nowhere,
Yep.
or you can have a destination and walk there and get there faster.
Yep. I think they also get the hard work confused too,
Yeah,
because I feel like it's better to be productive than hard work. Because sometimes you do hard work and you really don't do shit, like you said, you know.
just
So
active,
yeah, you got to have like a productive day.
just
You got to,
burning calories for no reason.
yeah, that's crazy.
You know,
Yeah,
think about it in the business we're in. I see a lot of people, and they'll go out there and they'll knock doors all fucking day and get nothing.
yeah,
And then I hop in there at 6 o'clock when everybody's home, knock 10 doors, get a deal, come back $10,000 rich.
that's crazy. You say that. That's crazy. You say that, and it's happened multiple times, and we see that shit all the time. Um, Even for me, my first year in solar, when I had went to go to Miami to get my teeth done,
Yeah,
I went for a week, right? Because they told me, hey, you know, first 2 days they're gonna do this, and then the last 2 days they're gonna do this. So you're gonna need a full week, basically.
yeah,
Um, Man, that week my team had 10 appointments, like 10 solid closings, right?
yeah.
Guess how many got closed? What you think got closed?
10 out of 10? Zero?
None of that shit. And
Okay.
I was like, how is it possible that y'all had 10
Yeah,
and y'all didn't close anything? Like, what happened?
yeah,
But then I started realizing something, and I'm like, man, I need to step it up as a leader. Like I as a leader, which at that time I was just basically like a manager, you know.
yeah,
I need to step it the fuck up.
yeah,
So I'm like, I'm gonna make a statement as soon as I land. Bro, in Miami, it was around this time of the year.
yeah.
In Miami, it's like 80 degrees right now, 90 degrees.
Right.
So shit, I land, I go straight to my place, put on the, you know, the little work shirt. I put on some shorts because at my place it's warm too. So I go and it's cold as shit, man. I'm knocking doors, cold as shit. I'm like, oh shit, I should have brought a jacket. I should have put some like
Yeah,
sweats on something. But I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I got a point to prove today. I go to this deal, closed.
yeah,
First he was like, nah, man, I'm gonna wait. I think I need to think about it. I'm like, okay. Start breaking it down a little more. Next thing you know, he's like, where do I need to sign?
yeah.
And I take the picture with the guy. What happened, guys?
Yeah,
How is it
yeah, yeah.
possible that y'all had a whole week, 10 appointments, and I come in, you know,
Get a deal right away.
get a deal right away? Like it was nothing.
Like $10,000-$20,000 made.
Yep.
I love
Easy.
to hear the type of shit. And
Yeah.
sometimes you got to show them out.
Yeah, that's
That-
what I'm saying.
The mentor that I was telling you about, he used to show me that all the time. Whenever I was struggling, whenever I wasn't doing shit, like he would just be like, all right, bro, come on.
Same
Boom,
time.
4 deals right in front of me. We're like back to back. I'm like, God damn. And then he would just give me the binder back and he'll look at me and he'll like, you see, you fucking pussy? Do that shit.
Get to it.
Yeah, get to it. And then you just had no other option.
Yeah.
But then it'll pick up that momentum and you're like, all right, I got it. You know?
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to do that as a leader. And then, yeah, you're right. You got to step up. You got to figure out a way to get them to be as productive as you are. Now, the thing that people get confused, especially in this business, where like that could be a double-edged sword, is they see you doing it with ease, right? And they think that they can do the same. But see, they haven't gotten the reps in. They haven't gotten their experience in. To me, this shit is easy, but that's because I already did 200 doors a day.
Yeah.
I already did 10-hour days.
You've been
You
in the
know,
boxing ring a couple times, so you already know
yeah,
how it is. Yeah.
yeah. So it's like for me, it's easy. I can turn it on. Boom, let's go. I'm
Yeah.
going to work. We're gonna get some money. We're gonna get some deals. I don't get a chance anymore to knock as much as I like to. But when I do go out there, best believe it's a deal.
Yeah.
You know, like I probably close. I don't know. This year I closed one deal, but I work 1 hour. You know,
Yeah.
1 hour to get the appointment. It was a self gym. 1 hour to get the appointment, and then the other hour to just be in the door, closing the deal, right?
Yeah.
But that comes easy now because of all the time and energy and love that I have put to this craft to get to this point where now it's easy.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that I'm trying to teach everybody else. It's like, yeah, I'm doing it, but that doesn't mean that you can do it the same. You need those hours. Get that fucking experience.
It's like one of our biggest things when I was younger, we used to do boxing.
Yeah,
There'd be some dudes that would hit the punching bag badass,
yeah,
right? They're badasses with the bag. They're boom, 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 boom. That shit looks clean, right? And then you're like, okay, so they're probably good boxers. You put these motherfuckers in the ring,
they
no
know what
game
to
at
do.
all. Yeah, and it's because the dudes mastered how to
Hit the
hit the
bag.
fucking bag.
Yeah,
But then when they get in the ring, you know, a dude that's doesn't even hit the bag as good as you, he's rocking the shit out you.
yeah,
And that just comes to break it down to like, I guess like fake the funk or some shit. Where
yeah.
a lot of people like think that they could do it the exact same way as you, but they don't know that you had to step into the ring, that you have to step into the fucking ring in order
Get
to
your
get
ass kicked.
that. Yeah, you have to get your ass whooped. You have to get those no's. You have to get businesses, for example, to fail. You have to go through those stages because that's what makes you better. That's
Oh,
what makes you
absolutely.
be able to perform like how you said. That me and you could probably go to a neighborhood right now and say, hey, you know what, bro, let's fuck it. You want to make a good quick 20K right quick? Fuck it,
Uh,
let's go. And we just go, you knock one, we close it, we go to another one, and it's like, it's my turn now, let's do it. And within an hour, what? We made 20,000? Fuck it, let's
easily,
call it a day.
easily.
Versus somebody that's out there all day knocking 1,000 doors and they're like, damn, man, we didn't get nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it is like getting your teeth kicked in, you know?
And that's the thing. In order for, I just talked about like, don't confuse activity with productivity.
Exactly.
In order for you to be productive, first you got to be active.
Yep.
Once you're active for a long period of time, then now you can actually evolve or graduate into being that productive motherfucker.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's to me, the business is just, I treat it like life. Anything about the business, I just treat it like life. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to go to work every single day to make sure that I'm straight. And that's how the business works as well.
Yep.
So, but yeah, man, I mean, it's a crazy fucking business.
Yeah.
I love it though. That shit
Yeah.
is, you
I
know.
think it's what keeps us driven.
Oh yeah.
It's all that like stuff that happens that you're like, you have to keep that mindset. You have to be competitive. Not just in the business or the industry we're in itself, but in life in general. You have to be competitive because it constantly changes and it makes you realize like, oh shit, maybe I'm not doing as good as I thought I was because somebody comes in and makes it look a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
And you're like, damn, now I have to step it up a bit. You know, even for me, like the reason why I started like following you too was because I'm like, damn, this dude right here got that like competitiveness in him. And
Yeah.
seeing somebody like you compete at that level makes me want to compete the same.
Yeah.
Cause I'm like, oh man, if he's competing like that, I have to step it the fuck up because he's
For
stepping it
sure.
up, you know? And that's just with life in general, not just in our industries, but it's like you find other people that are just as competitive as you, it keeps you going. It
100%.
keeps you going because you're like, man, I want to be just as competitive as him. Like, you know, I want to compete. I want to be able to be in the game, not
Yeah.
just be somebody that's in the bleachers watching the whole shit go down and be like, oh yeah,
That's
that's nice.
badass.
You know, like fuck that. I'm trying to be in the game too. I don't want to be a bench warmer. I
Yeah.
want to be the motherfucker playing in there too. You know, and I think it comes down to like, you know, whenever you play sports, the coach puts in the best players.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the way I see it in life. Is like I want to become one of the best players because I want people to realize like, damn, he needs to be in the fucking game, not warming up the bench
Yeah.
or getting the water for the players. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
you know what's crazy? And a lot of people think that I'm nuts for this shit. That's one of the reasons why I stopped watching sports.
bro, Pound that shit, man.
I
Pound that
don't watch
shit.
sports, bro. And you know, they'll be like, yo, let's go watch a football game. I'll go watch it just for like the social interaction. But I used to be all into football, watching basketball, doing all that stuff, right? But then at one point, my mentor, he told me, is like, bro, like, what do you, because he wanted me to work on a Sunday. And I was like,
Yeah.
bro, the Cowboys are playing. And he was like, you prefer to go watch other men win than you win yourself. And at first I didn't get it. And I thought about it. And I called him and I was like, all right, man, come pick me up. Let's go to work. You know, and then ever since then, I just haven't watched it. Just because, like, no, I don't hate on nobody, right?
Yeah.
But I cannot compete at that level, or that's not the industry that I'm in, or doing that at all.
And they don't give a shit about you. The players don't give a shit. Because what
Yeah.
happened? Whenever the Cowboys lost this last game, everybody's upset, breaking their TVs, fucking up their shit. And the Cowboys are on the way to Cancun because they're like, oh shit, you know what?
I still got
We're done.
paid.
Yeah, shit, we still got paid. Let's go to
Yeah.
Cancun. What we flexing? A new AP, new rollie with the paycheck that just came in? Like,
Yeah. And now
And-
you're sitting there broke without a TV.
yeah, mad as fuck. And
Yeah.
you probably bet like $300, $500. You lost the shit. Now you're even more upset, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm big on that too, bro. I'm surprised you say that. And this is one of the biggest things that I like to have people like you, like yourself, around me, because sometimes we say certain things that we've never fucking spoke about,
Yeah.
and it's the exact same shit. So it's like, damn, I've said it before, and now
Yeah.
he's bringing that shit up, and you're like, damn, we think alike, bro. So we vibrate at the same fucking energy, you know?
And once you tell it to just other people, they think you're the dumbass.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, you don't
mean?
want sports, bro?
Yeah. What do
Loosen up, man. You need to be more chill. Or what's wrong with you, bro? You don't well, you don't want to enjoy life? Like, man, get the fuck on.
And then at a point, I just stay quiet. And
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. You got it, bro.
Yeah.
You know, but they don't understand that I'm on a different mission. I'm trying to get something different. I'm trying to be different, you know, because most of my homeboys, and I love them, but I can't hang out with them no more, man. I wish that I could, to be honest. I wish that they were on the same frequency. I wish they thought of me the same way. And I wish that they would join me on this journey because those are my childhood friends, but I also understand that they're not thinking the same way
Yep.
and they're not going to work as hard as me. For them, the regular stuff is okay. You know, the 80,000 a year, the 100,000 a year, retirement, all that stuff. To them, that's cool, which that's fine. That's the life that you chose. But it does irritate me a bit to see somebody driving a nicer car, and it's not hating. It irritates me within myself because I want that car and I haven't gotten it. So then there's something that I haven't figured out yet that drives me, and I'm like, this is what the fuck I want,
Yeah.
you know? And I can't just stand by and not have the things that I want.
Yeah.
I'm tired of not having shit.
I feel that.
I already did 20 years of that shit.
Yeah.
I want it all.
Hell yeah.
You know?
On which one? That I had a friend of mine too. Same shit you just said.
Yeah,
I was like, man, we're really good at sales.
yeah,
We're really good at what we do. Why don't we have a big ass mansion yet? Why don't we have like 5 Lamborghinis and 6 Rolls Royces yet? What is it?
yeah,
We're making a shit ton of money. What's going on? And he's like, because we're talking about a specific person, and shout out to that guy, Oscar Luna. We're talking about him, and I was like, what is he doing that we haven't done yet? And he's like, he figured out something we haven't figured out yet.
yeah,
And as soon as he told me that, it was like, oh, I figured it out now. I figured it out. Like as soon as like he told me like he figured
Yeah.
out something we haven't, I realized like, damn man, like we've been playing in the small league.
yeah. I ain't with that shit.
Yeah, so
You know?
it really changed a lot of stuff for me, and I started realizing like things had to, change, and we had to step it up because we live in a very competitive world, and we have to compete, So yeah,
Not
we
only that, bro,
definitely,
life is short.
yeah, we
You know?
definitely had to step it up a bit, So either way, we got to do a part 2.
Part 2 is good.
The shit was great, guys. We're gonna do a part 2, highly exclusive society with Hustlers Nation,
Society.
Hustler Society.
Yeah.
Hey, we coming back for a part 2, guys. So make sure you guys stay tuned. This shit gonna get good.
Cool.